This is the ultimate battery test of Samsung Galaxy S24 and Samsung Galaxy A55. Hi everyone, this is JD, your gadget review friend. Welcome back to GadgetRevNow. Today we will do a day in a life test of Samsung S24 and A55. We will do video streaming, games, music, maps, and so on. But first, before we do the testing, let's check the settings of these two phones. Before we start the battery test, we are making sure that both phones are updated to the latest software. So we will check the software updates on both phones. Galaxy S24 is all caught up with the updates, running on the latest April 1st, 2024 patch, while we're running the software updates on Galaxy A55. Alright, after a few minutes, as you can see, we still have 100% on both phones, and Galaxy A55 is now running on the same software patch, April 1st of 2024. Both phones are running on 5G network from Telus. Later, we will check the 5G test using maps and GPS. Let's change the settings of both phones so they will match each other. First, we will change the theme of the screen. We will put both phones on light theme, so all individual pixels will light up. We are turning off adaptive brightness, and we will set the screen brightness to 50% for both phones. They have different max brightness, but for the sake of this test and transparency, we will set them both to 50%. Motion smoothness or refresh rate is enabled and adaptive, and both the colors of the screen are set to vivid. All the settings are the same, including the assistive touch protection. The sound on both phones will be turned on, and we will put the volume of the notification again to 50%. Both phones are connected to mobile data and 5G network. And we will make sure we'll have light theme on the screen, again so individual pixels will light up. On our first test, we will stream a YouTube video for the next 2.5 hours, and we are setting both phones to maximum resolution of 1080p. Both phones are connected to Wi-Fi 6, and we will check the remaining battery at the end of this video streaming. So after the whole video streaming 2.5 hours, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is actually doing a pretty good job on the battery efficiency. Galaxy S24 is at 87%, while the Exynos 1480 of A55 drops to 83%. We will put both phones to standby for the next hour, and we will do the music test. Second test is streaming of music using Bluetooth earbuds. Normally consumers will do this on their smartphone, so I thought we'll be streaming music for the next 2 hours. We are using Bluetooth 5.1 earbuds, so the performance will be the same. We are connecting Galaxy S24 on one of the earbuds and A55 to another. We are using YouTube Music, and I will close the screen. We will check the battery results after 2 hours. So after 2 hours of music using our Bluetooth earbuds, we still have 84% on S24 and 78% on Galaxy A55. Again, we will put this phone on standby for the next hour, and we will do 5G network test. We will use maps on GPS while driving. So right now we're using both phones for GPS or maps using GPS on 5G network. We turn on the brightness to maximum, so it will burn the battery of both phones. This will be a 2-hour drive back and forth, so we will have significant drop on the battery performance or the battery life of both phones. So yeah, we will see after 30 minutes. Right now, I think that Galaxy S24 is brighter than A55, just looking on the screens. What I like about S24 is the performance. It's great on gaming, so if you're a gamer and you play some heavy games, then definitely go with S24. I think it can play any games, any mobile games. And also the camera performance of this phone is pretty solid. I have a separate camera comparison videos of these two phones, so if you want to watch that, you can check out my videos. Well, for Galaxy A55, the price is half of what S24 offers, so you will save a lot of money. And also for content consumption like video streaming, the screen on A55 is bigger than S24, so you will see more on the A55 screen. We're here in our location, so after 30 minutes of 5G maps and GPS, Galaxy S24 still has 78%. Well, Galaxy A55 has 73%. Again, I think the battery or the screen brightness affects the battery life because S24 obviously is brighter than A55. So let's drive around for the next 1.5 hours, and we will check the battery after. So speaking of real-life battery tests of these two phones, I got into an emergency today. So my signal light stopped working, so I have to find a mechanic today. I burned like 1.5 hours to fall in line, get my car fixed. And so right now it's around 7 o'clock. Actually, it's 6:43. I don't think I would be able to do all the the battery test on these two phones because I still need to do gaming, camera test, and video streaming test. And so we will put this phone on standby overnight and see which phone will die first. So we're home finally after 3 hours outside. So right now, Galaxy S24 still has 67% using maps and GPS on 5G network, while Galaxy A55 has 65%, closely matching S24. So what's the takeaway today? If you are an average smartphone user, today we actually did 2.5 hours of watching videos, 3 hours of music, 3 hours of maps, maybe around 2 hours, and then like 5 to 6 hours of standby, and you still have 60+% on both phones. So you can definitely get 2 solid days on these two phones. It will be interesting to see the battery performance of these two phones on overnight standby test. And tomorrow we will do gaming, video test, and camera test. So we will see which phone will die first. Oh, that's a bummer. So I'm back home. Again, we will do the standby test for these two phones overnight. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning and early battery check for us. It's around 7:50 a.m. and Galaxy S24 still has 60%, while A55 has 59% on an overnight battery standby test. Galaxy A55, because of the bigger battery, closes the gap on standby. Now let's try to test the camera of these two phones. We will record 5 minutes of 4K video and see the battery drop. So there's 2% drop on each of the phone, 58% on S24 and 57% on A55. Now let's do gaming test and we will play Mobile Legends for the next 2 hours. I will test S24 first, then Galaxy A55 after 2 hours. By the way, the settings of both phones are 50% brightness and 75% volume. Alright, after 2 hours of gaming on both phones, we still have 25% remaining on S24 and 21% on A55. So in terms of battery efficiency, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is power efficient than Exynos 1480, considering that A55 has bigger battery life. For our last test, we will do a battery drain test, we will do video streaming, and we will push the screen brightness to maximum and let these two phones die on us. Okay, so the first phone to die on us is Galaxy S24 and we still have 2% remaining on Galaxy A55. We will reboot S24 and check the battery life of both phones. On the first day, both phones registered 5 hours of screen on time. On the second day, both registered 3 hours. Almost the same screen on time because we're using them both at the same time. Galaxy S24 will definitely beat A55 if we didn't put the max brightness because they don't have the same maximum brightness, but overlooking the screen brightness, A55 is as good as the flagship.